host, June Ramli. Our guest today is Tehran-based journalist and travel expert Simin Saghafi. I met Simin several years ago as a reporter during a junket to Iran. My first impression of the country was that its people were absolutely stunning and that tourism areas such as Persepolis had a lot to offer tourists. So, our topic today is going to be about turning a passion such as travel into a business. If you follow Simin's social media pages like I do, you'd know that she is a successful travel writer as well as an accomplished travel agent who specializes in Iranian market, both inbound and outbound wise. Before COVID hit, Simin was employed by a Balinese travel agent whose job was specializing in bringing Iranian tourism. But our discussion today is going to be solely centered around Simin as a businesswoman and her tips to those wanting to make their first trip to Iran. So, without further ado, let's invite Simin to the show. Like I said, she's in Iran. Hello, Simin. How are you today?
Hi, June. First of all, it's nice to see you after a long time and talk to you directly. And thanks for choosing me in your podcast program.
No worries.
And hi, everybody. Hi, everybody, to hear my voice here. It's Simi. I do my job in tourism, also in journalism, and I can say I mix these two field together, media and tourism together. That's why I can make easier for people to travel, to choose destination, which destination could be better for them for the when they want to choose to travel. Sorry, sorry. Which destination could be better for them? I try to help them to choose the best destination and consult them if they choose the destination, how they can go and get there. So this is my job that I do, and also I try to give more information about the tourism industry around the world, also tourism in Iran, also in the area that I work in. As before, I was in Malaysia. Um, I try to give more information about Malaysia tourism, and also now in Bali, I try to make more clear this destination and give them the idea to visit, how they can go there, and also what's the best tour for them. I mean, some of them they like to go to the beach area, but they don't know that Bali has a very rich culture. Also, they can mix the different tourist destination together. Also, they can mix different area to accommodate in Bali to have different experience. Having nice experience is very important for me in traveling.
Okay, so how did you become a journalist? Okay, first and foremost, right? Your English is very good. So where did you study in Iran? Like, how did you study English in Iran, and then how did you become a journalist?
Actually, in Iran, we studied English in our in the period, I'm in high school and before that. So I'm sorry, we have a early, we have a graveyard here, African graveyard here. So
Okay.
when I start to talk with my phone, he also start make noise. I'm sorry for this. And always you can hear this noise in background of my report. So people in Iran, they like to learn foreigner language beside the official education. Normally, we can see the families send the children to the private English course to get a private English course. We I think not most of us, but some of us we can talk English, and when it goes to the business and our job, also of course we have to do it. And I, as a me, for me as a people as a person who do a job as a journalist, also as a tour guide, I should learn English. Is not much good, but I'm happy you confirm my English. So I try to improve my English language as well.
So, I met you in Iran the first time as a journalist. So, which one started first? Were you a travel agent or were you a journalist first? Which one were you?
I can say almost 20 years ago, before that, I was working in public relation as a public relation officer in with to promote and more introduce different countries to my people, because I believe that people should know, should get more info about how they travel. This is very important that they get more information about the destination they want to go. So, for example, I wrote about Thailand as a destination for family, but this destination has not a good name for the people who travel. People always think Thailand is a destination for example, for sex tourism, and not for single people, not for family people. And also my people, and normally other people from Middle East, they have problem with the food in Southeast Asia countries. They always think that, for example, in Thailand, they eat insects, and the food is not their favorite food. Or even in Malaysia, I have lots of experience that people didn't like to try local food. That's why I try to write about these kind of things based on my experience. And I wrote about the food, about how they can do it, how they can visit, not just the special tourist destination that they include inside the tour, but also the other experience that they have. And by this, I mix journalism with tourism. And I linked with the tourism ministry in Malaysia. Also, I was linked with the other countries embassy in Iran. I did in many interview with the foreigner ambassador in Iran, about their experience in Iran, because at that time it was very important for me to foreigner people say about their experience about visiting Iran, because Iran still is not very familiar destination for traveling. So I like to share this experience from the foreigner people about visiting different cities in Iran, and their other experience. That's why I moved to promote Iran as a destination for foreigner tourists. And I have a page on Facebook, Memories of Travel to Iran. I made it many years ago. Is not active too much active now, unfortunately, because filtered in Iran, and I have to use the facilities to connect with the pages like Facebook. This is a problem for tourists who come to Iran as well. But in this page, I try to share the experience of the people from different countries who travel to Iran, and they were surprised what they say, what they see, and about the people, about the places, about the activities, about the experience. And this kind of sharing experience, it um, made easier decision for the other people who read this content. It was pictures, it was movies, it was blogs, so it makes easy for them to make decision to travel to Iran.
Okay. So, from journalism, so you were working with CHR, is it CHR?
CHN,
Yes.
CHN,
And then you work with Radio
cultural heritage, yeah, cultural heritage news agency that you visited by a group, official group.
Yes.
That
And then you
years.
work with Radio Kuche, and then after that, now then you worked in Bali. You stayed and worked in Bali. So how did you move to become like a tourist agent? Like where they employ you, and your job is to bring Iranian tourists to Bali.
Um, Actually, I was, I was living in Malaysia for 9 years. After that, I started doing my PhD in tourism in Malaysia as well. But I decided I get invitation to go to US uh, to visit, and may choose this country for staying. But at the same time, after I mean, during my visit in US, I get offer to go to Bali and work with this travel agency to promote Bali in Iran. And I mean, help to people or tourists from Iran to come to Bali to have a better experience in Bali. So, as I really like to live, and I really interested in South Asian countries and the atmosphere for living. So I go to Bali and work with them. And this company is a big company, and they have many guide. Some of them they like to learn Farsi, and some of them they did start to learn Farsi. So in this company, I try to help them to improve their language as well. But all they are talented, they learn a different language like Russian, as one of the market in Bali is Russia. So we have many Australian tourists in Bali. We have many Russian tourists, Ukrainian tourists in Bali, and also Iranian tourists in Bali. So they learn all this language, and I just try to help them and to help my people if they have a problem in the connection. Also, maybe they prefer to hear Farsi language, our language, and I try to promote new destination, new area for stay in Bali, because before that people just go to Nusa Dua or maybe Kuta. But I saw Bali has a lots of area that give you different experience. I mean, not just a beach area, because but also they have places in through the jungle, and near the mountain, and you can have volcano near your stay, and lots of nice hotels with different experience. They have Ubud area, you can go and see handicrafts, also monkey forest, and art is based in Ubud. Also meditation classes, you can get yoga classes there. So I just try to give people lots of reason to come and visit Bali, not just go to the beach area and nice hotel there. So this is the things. And I also still Indonesia has lots of things to discover for people who are interested to travel there.
So are Iranian tourists big spenders? Like, do they spend a lot when they go overseas?
Yes, because traveling is a part of our culture, and based on, of course, based on economy, refer to economic situation, still they like to do travel overseas or inside the country. As you can see here, now we are in New Year holiday in Iran. We have Nowruz celebration, and now we are in the, I think, 11 days. Yeah, in 11 days, 10 days passed from the beginning of New Year in Iran. So all people went around in Iran. Also, I saw lots of tours going around the world, as Peru, Brazil, Macau, Maldives, Bali, Turkey, and the Emirates, especially because of Expo. Many people went to Emirates, and all the countries that they allowed them, European countries, they allow them to go. And now, because the border is not opening yet for many countries, so I saw lots of people go around the world, also inside the country. We have different tourist destinations that is, some people I know, they are solo travel, they want to have their own experience, but they just need to contact with the company, with a travel agency, what or other, or any person who related to the tourism industry in Iran. And it depends on what time they want to come, because, for example, for Nowruz time, this time, that everywhere in Iran, I mean, the spring season is uh, Iran is beautiful, and everywhere you can find nice places, nice weather, and everything is nice. So, but people in Iran also travel this time. So this is high season. Um, in some places we have fully booked hotels. So for this time, I mean, for the high season time, better to book before traveling to Iran, maybe 1 or 2 months before the travel time they should start, and after that everything is okay. So we have some policies, is not difficult. For example, women should know that they should wear the cover the hair, and for women and men also, some dress code, maybe they follow some cultural etiquette they should follow, as other countries. I know the covering or wearing hijab maybe is difficult for people, but I've seen many. This is a rule I cannot say, but this I cannot change this rule. But I can say, and I can mm, uh, promise them this is not difficult for them, because when you come to Iran, you can see a unique fashion and unique style in Iran, and that you like to follow it and like it. Of course, all of us, we like to be free, everything, and I mean, people have right to choose the covering or not covering, but this is not a problem, a big problem for people who come to Iran as a tourist, because easily they can have their style, their nice style, and I saw many tourists who take picture with this different style they have, and I call it as a new experience,
Mm,
because you are going to the country to have new experience. I call it new experience. And I can say, the fashion in Iran, I think this is a new era for promoting tourism, because I saw many talented designer in Iran and producer in Iran that um, they get the cultural base and artistic base of in Iran, of Iran civilization, Persian civilization, and move it to the new fashion era. And this product, it's fantastic, and you cannot find it in any other part of the world. So this is the experience, the new experience for people who come to Iran. And if they come by their own vehicles, there are some policies. If they contact if Google, they can find it, but better contact with the travel agency to manage the things for them, so make it easier for them to come and visit in Iran.
okay, so in Iran, everything is written in Farsi, like even the price tag. So if they want to travel solo, right? It's going
Mhm.
to be very difficult for them because Persian is quite hard to master. So is that why you should get a tourist guide all the time with you?
Actually, from that time you came to Iran, now we have more developed tourism infrastructure. So it's not like that is Iran to read the price or the tableau and the things. We have the English sign as well, but better to have a guide at least at first, because to have a guide, to know what they do, where they go, and I think I normally offer using a tour guide or local guide to make better travel in Iran. But it's not difficult for. I mean, the language is not difficult, because now we have lots of people, they can talk English as well. Even people around, when you go to metro, when you go to the bazaar, or whenever you go, you can find people easily, can talk English very well.
Okay. So if they want to travel to Iran, like somebody sees this podcast and want to travel to Iran, can they contact you?
Yes, of course. I do my best to help them to go to Iran.
Okay, so what are some of the interesting times? Like you said just now, Nuruz is a good time to visit, but what are the other interesting times and interesting places? So when I went to Iran, I was very impressed with Persepolis. I think Persepolis is very, very like it's something like the Egypt pyramids.
Mhm.
So I don't.
Uh, it depends on what you are at. Spring season has lots of things to do, to offer to
Okay.
visit. Summer is the time for Iran, to visit some part of Iran, like west, and or maybe you can do it like hiking, climbing, bird watching, and in fall season you can have some splendid picture of different part of Iran, and also try different fruits. In winter season, you can try one of the best ski area, and I mean snow and doing a ski, and cold season in some part of Iran is interesting for countries that they don't have it in their own countries. So, I mean, any time is good to visit in Iran based on what you like. Persepolis is based on, I mean, the historical places. But Shiraz, that base of Persepolis is close to Shiraz. Shiraz and Fars province, they have lots of things to offer to tourists, not just historical places, but also the natural area, the lakes. Now we start to have blossom, orange blossom in the street, and you can smell around the area that you cannot forget. You can't forget it when you back to your countries. And also, we have lots of food, sweets, fruits. We have lots of handicrafts in this area, and all states in Iran. When you go to Yazd, when you go to Isfahan, when you go to Khuzestan, when you go to Bushehr in south of Iran, when you go to Hormozgan, still south of Iran, especially this time, you have nice weather, very good, I mean, view of the ocean. Also, different type of foods you can try, and tradition. Also, we have wedding ceremony there. These all of things you can try in Iran in any time and any season you can go. That's why I'm telling you, better get consult with the person who is professional in tourism in Iran before they decided to come, and they can offer which area in this time, that the time that they want to go, which area is better to go and visit. But I can say, now, because of the we have lots of tourism professional working in Iran, we have different type of tours based on what we have. I mean, we have the fashion tours, we have nomad tours, we have bird watching tours, we have nature eco tours, and different type. Food tourism now is very I mean, improved in Iran, and is one of the activities that every time you can go to Iran, you can try and get a food tour in Iran. So always and anytime, welcome to Iran.
Yes, good. So, all right, that's all the time that we have for today. We have just been speaking to Simin Saghafi, journalist and Iranian tourism expert from Tehran. Thank you, Simin, for joining us today from beautiful Tehran.
Most welcome, and always our people, based on what tourists said about them, the most hospitalized people in the world, around the world. They always welcome to tourists. They invite you to their house. They invite you to their ceremonies to have nice experience in Iran. So always welcome to tourists.